Hello everybody, my name is Karryshh and welcome back to another recap video. This time it's a latest Thai horror movie, Moei, The Promised. This one is full of jump scares and if you like Thai dramas, then you can give it a try. On top of that, if you're new here then make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video, it helps me out a lot. Now bear with me till the end, cause I'm gonna recap the movie, Moei The Promised. So the story begins in a hospital where a guy named Gut comes to see his father August, who's terminally ill. He was also texting to his mother on his way, and his mother was messing with him, saying stuff like beware of ghosts, etc. However, both mother and son do not believe in paranormal. Now as Gut goes towards his father's room, the lights flicker and we see spirits behind him. At one turn, Gut comes across his father himself, but he disappears the next second, and Gut observed some really bizarre stuff around him. He finally reaches his father's room where August suddenly grabs him and tells him that he must redeem himself in front of Moei at a Lampum house. After that, August passed away, leaving his son perplexed. Well, now in past, we see Gut's mom, Alice, together with August, but their marriage was broken because Alice knew that her husband was cheating on her. Now at August's funeral, Gut was sad, and the sadness persists for a few days for him. However, since Gut is now dead, Alice doesn't have to follow the superstition he believed, and one of them was to keep a tuft of hair on Gut's head. Alice cut that tuft, but her finger gets cut as well. She goes to wash it off but soon sees blood coming out of the tap and it indicates that cutting the tuft was not the right decision. Then Alice sees a crown in the mirror and an entity comes and put that crown on Alice's head. When suddenly she wakes up and finds that she was just daydreaming and her finger was fine too. Next day when Gut was in school, same thing happens to him. He sees an ancient spirit in school's bathroom. That spirit suddenly attacks on Gut and breaks his arm. The spirit disappears, but Gut was injured enough that he was sent to a hospital where a fracture is found in his bone. Gut told her mom that they might have made a mistake with cutting that tuft because to properly cut a tuft, a ritual must be performed beforehand. Alice sees the video but she just tells Gut to not believe on his father's superstitions. At night, Gut remembers that his father told him something about Moei before he died, so he goes and put that name on the internet. With the name Moei, things like bribe and oaths appear on the internet. It was something ancient, like the photos his father had in his album. There was a house in the album too, and that house turned out to be the one named Lampum House. After this, Gut fell asleep and goes in a long trail of dreams. In the first dream, he sees a lot of girls dancing somewhere, but soon, all the girls die, which was a work of poison. Gut wakes up into another dream where suddenly, an ancient evil spirit appears hovering over him. The spirit fisted his hands and once again, Gut wakes up in another dream. Once again, an evil spirit startles him away, making him question the reality. The same thing happens again one last time before Gut finally wakes up near his computer and starts to believe that something is really wrong. Then Gut's mother came and she sees what Gut was searching about. Alice then assures him that everything is fine and that they don't have to believe on August's superstitions. But then Alice went to work and there she experienced something evil. In one corner, she sees a spirit of a twisted dancer that tells to Alice that whatever she took from those people, she has to return it soon. This scares Alice and she wondered if her husband was right. That night, Alice searches the internet for the same things when she heard a noise from Gut's room and we see that Gut is dancing in a weird way on his bed. He was also having a vision and in that vision, we go in the past where we see Gut, who was dancing near a river when a woman came and calls him with the name Tub. Not only that, but Gut answers to that name and even calls that woman his mother. And it means this vision belongs to Gut's past life in which his name was Tub. Here we find out that the strange dance is actually called Nora dance, and Tub's father was a teacher of Nora dance, but the father refused to teach Tub that dance. When Tub asked his mother why is that, his mother just stalls him. Back in present, Alice sees Gut dancing and she breaks the door open, but Gut was then unconscious. Next day, Gut was at the hospital where doctors were shocked because there was nothing wrong with Gut. And not only that, the fracture in Gut's hand was gone as well, which was shocking to doctors too. Alice wonders about what's wrong and she thinks of her past with August. We find out that Alice was not happy with August because he was a big believer of Moei and superstitions. We find out that August made a promise to Moei, who's a god, that he will have her son follow certain things for his future. August that's why always put pressure on Gut, and Alice didn't like that one bit. And she one day told August to sign a divorce paper. August agreed to the divorce, but that day he reminded Alice of something she did in the past and how one day karma will follow her. In the present, Alice was scared of that karma, and then when Gut wakes up in the evening, he hears a noise from outside his room. He goes to check it out, and with a blinding light, Gut gets into another vision of past. He sees Tub, who was making a costume for Nora dance in his room. When his father came in, his father then beat the shit out of him because he didn't want Tub to do Nora dance, since Tub was really bad at it and Tub also was a little mentally unstable. Tub's mom came and protected her son, but when Tub was getting beaten by the whip, Gut's body was showing the signs of it at the same time. Seeing all that, Gut wakes up in the hospital and he showed the photo of Lampum House to Alice, telling that he wants to go there. But that photo was a terrifying surprise for Alice. But why? We'll soon find out. Back to home, Gut was in his room, but the evil rattles somewhere inside his closet. He steps towards it when suddenly an ancient evil spirit comes out of the closet, bends backward, and scares Gut to hell. That spirit crawls towards him, but it disappears as Alice arrived and comforted her distressed son. Alice then understands that something is wrong, and to figure everything out, the next day, Alice takes her son to Lampum House, even though there were things Alice were not telling the truth about. On their way, they killed a crow accidentally, which is obviously bad luck. And then after traveling for an entire day, the two reaches Lampum House, the home of god Moei. However, soon that place gives Gut a nosebleed. The two then unloads the car when a guy named Shirt comes and welcomes them. Shirt put Gut on bed and talks to Alice, who explains him what has been happening to her family and that it's connected to this place because she visited this place 15 years ago with her husband. Now 15 years ago we see Alice and August, who were at Lampum House because August was an ancestor of Nora dancers. August promised to Nora Master's priest of Lampum House that if he would be gifted by a son, then he will make that son follow the path of Nora dancing and will eventually make him a Nora dancer master. But obviously Alice didn't let August fulfill this promise since she was not a believer. Now hearing this, Shirt tells Alice that the promise your husband made is the reason what's happening. But worry not, because in a few days the priest of Lampum House can do a ritual which will unbind the promise, but that process will be painful. Alice now remembers something of past once again, where she was pregnant and she was back with August at this place, but that time the two witnessed a woman redeeming her promise and she was screaming in pain. Now when Gut wakes up from his nap, he wanders around the Lampum House, but soon he remembers that this is the place where his past life self used to live. He then visioned about a ritual that happened years ago. In that ritual, we see a guy named Tew who was taking the oath to become a Nora dancer master. And actually, Tew was Tub's older brother. Everyone was happy, but Tew's mom left the ritual and goes to attend her crying son Tub, who was locked in the house because he wanted to destroy the ritual since no one let him do the Nora dance. Now in the ritual, Tub's father gave his Nora dance legacy to Tew and declared some new priest for the Lampum House. But meanwhile, Tub's mother freed Tub and Tub ran straight towards the ritual. Tub wanted to stop the ritual, but his mother stopped him in the end, and his father gave the orders to lock him up again. Tub screamed in the locked room, but this all was affecting Gut too in the present, who was screaming in his sleep the same things about how he hated his dad, his big brother, and Nora Dance. Then Alice comes and she turns to her son, and Alice was concerned if the upcoming ritual can even save Gut or not, but Shud assures her that everything will be just fine. After a while, Alice prays to Moei about how she's a mother and will do everything to protect her son from the broken promise, and a god should understand that and rid them from their pain already. But something paranormal happens, indicating that Alice must redeem her husband's promise. Next day, Gut fell ill, and Alice then decides to tell Gut about the promise his father made. But Gut wasn't mad at his father even after that. After a while, Shud comes to talk to Alice and tells her about karma. He clearly states that the ritual may save Gut and her from the promise, but she will face her karma soon. But Alice responds to that she will take the karma all for her and will not let it harm Gut. It means something bad has happened, which is haunting Alice. Back in the past, we see little Nora dancers dancing on stage, and after him, Tew was invited to perform Nora dance, but instead of Tew, arrives Stub in his costume, and he starts to dance in front of everyone. Everyone laughed at him and his father was deeply embarrassed. Tub also starts crying and tells everyone how he hates Nora dance, but his father kicked his son out. Once again, he was locked in his room, and meanwhile, people screamed near the river's shore because they found Tew's corpse. Tew died after drowning in the river, but we know that's not the case. Soon everyone comes at the scene, and Tew's parents mourn for their son, but a man revealed that he saw Tub and Tew together at the shore a while ago, and this makes it clear that Tub was the one who murdered his brother. Tub was then captured and tied to a post where his father beat him off with a whip. But after all that, Tub's mother tried to protect him. Tub was once again locked in the house, but now in prison, Gut feels Tub's pain as he was getting attached back to his past memory. Gut was standing in Lampen House storeroom, and he was remembering how one day Tew was teaching Tub how to Nora dance, but young dancers were making fun of him. Tub then ran from the site and went near the river shore where his big brother followed him to, and then Tub decided to murder him because he hates everything about him. Back in present, Tub realizes how much bad deed he did in his past life, and he asks for forgiveness to a photo of his past life's father. Now suddenly the lights goes out and Alice wakes up. Alice goes to check on Gut, but he was not in his room. Worried, Alice looks for Gut all over the place but couldn't find him. In the end, she goes in the woods looking for him, but instead of him, she finds a man who suddenly scared Alice, telling her that she must redeem in front of Moei. Scared, Alice runs away but soon reaches a tree where she saw a lot of Nora dancer spirits. This scared Alice even more and she runs back home where she meets Shud, who has found Gut in a storage room. Gut was unconscious and now Alice wanted to go home, but Shud asked her to hold on just for one day more because the day next to that was the ritual day. Now after a while, Shud asked Alice to go in the storeroom and find August's Moei wrap, which was a wrap of something that August gave to the priest while he made his vow. To find his Moei wrap, Alice go in the storeroom and there was a lot of Moei wraps, but every Moei wrap had a different promise and voice inside of it. Whenever Alice touches a Moei wrap, she attends to a different voice, and she does this until she finds the one belonged to her husband. Alice grabbed that one, but when she was going out, another Moei wrap fell down and now scene goes on Gut, who was again having a vision. Actually, you see in the past, after killing Tew, Tub actually poisoned all the young Nora dancers who made fun of him, and afterwards, Tub committed unalivement. Tub's mother found his corpse and his parents mourned his death too, and that's how Tub's story ended. And now in the present, Gut knows all this. When he wake up, he see his past life's father for a moment, and then come Alice, who comforts him and shows him the Moei wrap, and tells him that they will soon go home. And from here, the scene goes on their ritual. Now the priests do their thing and chant spells in order to break the promise, and during that, Tubbs' health take a worse turn. Not only that, but a storm brewed up in the sky, and suddenly, Gut's head starts to bleed. Soon mother and son both fainted, and then Alice wakes up in a hospital where her body was covered with wounds. She sat upright and suddenly remembers that the priest successfully did the ritual and they were free from the promise. But afterward, when Gut and Alice were coming back home, they got into an accident, and after that, both were fatally injured. Alice went into a coma, but unfortunately, Gut died. Scene goes back in the past where we see that Moei wrap fallen near Alice, and when Alice picked it up, she heard a voice of a woman screaming who was asking for help, and it sounded like her son was dead. Hearing that voice, Alice remembers something, and we find out that one time August and Alice were going home from Lampum House when Alice was pregnant, but on their way, August kissed Alice, which led to an accident. However, in that accident, Alice hit her mother and son on a scooter. August was gonna help, but Alice stopped him because she was too scared, and she did that hit and run thing. That mother's son died, and she vowed that she will curse Alice with Moei's wrap. So actually that other Moei wrap belonged to that woman, and Alice was cursed cause of it. The woman cursed her with a long life too, so she can live the pain forever. Alice finally understood there that why her karma is haunting her and she can never escape it. Now Alice remembered all this in the hospital, but the last thing to remember was actually from her past. Actually, you see, Alice was also the mother of Tub in his past life too, and when Tub poisoned all those kids, one of their mothers cursed Alice's family for eternity, and the curse actually was that Alice will suffer the same pain in every life throughout the eternity. And that was why whatever happened to Alice in the past life with Tub, same thing happened in the present life, and the same thing will happen in the next life as well, and there's no escape from this. Remembering all that, Alice finally goes near Gut, who was dead, and Alice cries and asks for forgiveness over her dead son's corpse. But everything is said and done. She saw her karma, and this is where the movie ends because no one can escape their karma. So this was the recap video on the movie Moei the Promised, and I hope you have liked it. If you have, then please subscribe the channel and like this video. I really need your support to grow further. If you want to watch this movie, there's a link to my Telegram channel where I share movie links every now and then. So go subscribe there. I'm mostly active on Insta, so you can follow me there as well. And look into my other channels where we discuss about the mysteries of the world. All the links are in the description box. For now, I see you all in the next one. Till then, stay awake, because they always see you.